welcome to another exciting, probably, episode of Teal Hat Radio.
I don't know, he didn't said probably in there, it's probably not that exciting.
Shut up, Doug. Yeah, that's what I call that voice in my head who sounds suspiciously like Yahtzee Croshaw, and in that really dry British way reminds me that everything I do is a monumental failure and I should shut up and just, take a nice long walk off a nice short ledge. Dark. Yeah, I remember when that style of humor was a lot more common, whereas nowadays if you make a joke like that, Twitter recommends the suicide hotline. Or they throw you in Twitter jail. Such a different time we live in, But I digress. You will notice that there was no episode last week, and there is a good explanation for that. It originally started with me recording an episode, and then somehow losing the recording because Audacity did something stupid. I don't even remember what happened, because I recorded the episode. I was really proud of how that episode turned out, and then just before I could hit export to MP3, Spotify crashed and I lost everything, and I was a big stupid dum-dum and didn't save any of it because that's what the export feature is for, I guess I was saying. But I ended up exporting the episode. I ended up losing what I had of the episode entirely, and I was going to re-record it. I was originally going to sit down. It was going to be like 11 o'clock at night, and I told my wife, if you hear me talking in my office and it sounds like I'm talking to myself, it's probably because I am, because you know how I'm recording the podcast. So, I'm probably going to be talking to myself. It's going to sound like that, but I assure you, it's fine. I haven't gone entirely crazy. I was going to do that, but before I recorded the podcast again, I logged on to Facebook to see, make my rounds, see how all my friends and family are doing. It's pretty much the only thing I use Facebook for nowadays, because Facebook is a piece of shit. I remember when Twitter was the piece of shit and Facebook was clearly superior, but that's neither here nor there. I went onto Facebook, I checked my friends and family, and then I found out that a friend of mine actually passed away that same day. Like, as I was recording the first take, that dude apparently was declared dead. And I don't know what to say about that, because that was one of those things where it's like, we haven't really talked, like this guy and I. We haven't really talked in a long time, like back when Metro Pro Wrestling was a thing, we all used to get together and go to the shows and watch the guys, because you gotta support your local promotion. By the way, did I mention I like professional wrestling? I can't remember if I mentioned that the last episode, because I don't listen to my old episodes. Either way, don't judge me. But, yeah, Metro Pro Wrestling was a thing we all used to go to, and he was one of the guys who worked on the show, and he went to the show and all that, and I like to think we were friends, and we hadn't really communicated or talked since that, like, I want to say 2015. Like, we didn't have any face-to-face, like, live and in-person encounters, but, we kept up to date on Facebook, and dude passed away. And I remember that being a complete and total shock to the system, I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to record tonight, because how am I supposed to be all herder, movies and television, herder, when this isn't my system, what am I supposed to do with that? That's just heavy. Yeah, herder. I will be expecting that lawsuit from Psychostick in the not-too-distant future, but I digress. So that was the big thing that happened, and may he rest in peace. And I was going to record yesterday, and by yesterday I mean Sunday, but we were entertaining guests for Easter that day, and I never really got the chance to sit down and actually record the podcast. Luckily, I have been gifted with the opportunity to hang out here in an empty house on Monday, so here I am right now, and I'm going to be recording. I might be louder than usual because I don't have to worry about other people in the house looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I say, you know I record a podcast on Sundays. Just like, yeah, it's Monday now. I got an empty house. I don't have to worry about that. So here we go with the podcast. What on earth do I have to talk about this week? Well, we got a lot of things to talk about, and I hope you enjoy. First thing on my list I notice is people demanding that now that the Snyder Cut has been released, the next step to appease the fandom is to restore the Snyderverse. I can't remember if I talked about this a couple weeks ago or not. I definitely talked about it in the original episode I recorded last week, but like I said, I lost that episode, so it doesn't count. I can't remember if I talked about it 2 weeks ago because I don't listen to my old episodes because that's just narcissistic, but all the same. We're restoring the Snyderverse now. No. 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 I can't decide if this is, like, legit. I can't decide if this is legit. Is this, like, a fandom thing where, like, the Snyder fans are this delusional? Like, somehow they've convinced themselves that Zack Snyder is good at making superhero movies? Or is this, like, an edgelord thing where, like, they know it pisses people like me off, so they do it? Which is one of the reasons I don't get too worked up about it outside of the podcast, because, you know, I don't like the Snyderverse. I don't like Zack Snyder's superhero movies lately. If he's made movies I like, it's news to me, because I'm terrible with names and I can't keep directors straight like some people. But I just don't like his superhero movies. I hated Man of Steel. Don't even get me started on Batman vs. Superman. Justice League, no matter which cut, Justice League is still a bad movie. You know, and they want to restore the Snyderverse, and it's like, do you legitimately have no taste in cinema, or are you doing this on purpose because it's like the cinematic equivalent of trolling the libs? You know? Is that what this is? I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't want to get too invested in it, because for all I know, this is probably just a joke, and I'm falling for it. And I just don't like the Snyderverse, you know? I just don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. And, as long as we're talking about alternate cuts, the Suicide Squad, I saw this trending at one point, but I don't know if it still is at the time I'm recording this. It might be dead air at this point, but they are talking about the fan base who wanted the Snyder Cut are now wanting, I have it written down as the Ayers Cut, but I think I might have misspelled it. I'm talking about the guy who directed the Suicide Squad movie. Not the one James Gunn did, but the one that was like, I want to say 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, back when Zack Snyder's Justice League was still under Joss Whedon, and, you know, like, we hadn't hit the reset button on DC and started putting out movies that were, for the most part, better than Zack Snyder's movies. I say for the most part because Wonder Woman 84, but anyway. You know, it's like, no. I don't care. I just don't care about I don't care about the Ayers Cut. I don't care about the Snyder Cut. The movie sucked the first time. Why do you think it would be good if we just released a 4-hour, uncut, you know, unedited? It's gotta be a continuity nightmare that way, but, you know, we need to see more Jared Leto as the Joker. No, you don't. Jared Leto sucks as the Joker. Not sorry. But I will say, I'm not ragging on Jared Leto the person, because I'm sure he's done some stuff that I've seen and it was good. But the Joker is not it, you know? The Joker is not something I think he's really good at from what I've seen of him. But, you know, I've committed blasphemy by saying that out loud, because never mind the fact he's only been on screen for 10 minutes throughout the entirety of the Snyderverse so far, Jared Leto's Joker is the best Joker. Well, you thought Jack Nicholson had the best Joker? Fuck Jack Nicholson. You thought Mark Hamill had the best Joker ever? Man, fuck Mark Hamill. He's the reason Last Jedi sucked in the first place. That's sarcasm, by the way. Everybody knows Rey and Kylo Ren are the reason it sucked. That's also sarcasm. I won't get too far into that opinion yet, but just, yeah, let's stay on track here. You know, it's like Jack Nicholson, Mark Hamill. I forget who did him in the 60s, but that entire 60s Batman was a train wreck, so yeah, whatever. Well, you thought Heath Ledger was Joker, but fuck Heath Ledger. Fuck that guy, man. He wasn't Joker. He was Jigsaw with clown paint. That's what he was. Fuck him. You thought Joaquin Phoenix was a good Joker? Man, that entire movie was designed specifically to troll the libs. That means we need to hate the movie, you know? Fuck Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. He's no Jared Leto. Oh god, the satire kills me inside. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is better than Jared Leto's Joker. I don't know where Joaquin Phoenix is on the Joker. I don't think iceberg is the right term. Iceberg is something we apparently do now with things like Dingo Pictures and whatnot, but I don't think that applies here. But in terms of ranking the Jokers from best to worst, I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is going to be at the top of the list, but he's definitely going to rank higher than Jared Leto for sure. I don't care. Fight me, nerds. Oh man, I am going to get so much hate mail for this. I'm looking over my notes right now, and I'm pretty sure I had a lot of rants lined up for this stuff when I started, but maybe I should have wrote down some clip notes, because I'm kind of fishing for things to talk about when I'm seeing these things on my list, like Bridgerton getting a second season. Okay, I mean, whatever. I don't really care for Bridgerton. I'm sure it has its following. I'm not it, though. I don't know what Bridgerton really is in the grand scheme of things, other than apparently a lot of these thirst traps are a thing with Bridgerton, I guess. I think that's the show I'm thinking of. There's definitely a show where, the term thirst trap seems to be coming up a lot, and I think it's Bridgerton, but I don't know. I stopped paying attention to what Gen Z liked a long time ago, because Gen Z has no taste. Hashtag get off my lawn. Oh, man. Yeah, it's I never understood the whole thing with Gen Z and how, thirsty means the same thing as horny. I never understood that, because you can't drink pussy. Well, I mean, if we're talking about the energy drink called pussy, then yeah, you can drink that, but that's not why you drink pussy. That's not, I never understood that, are you into piss play? Because, God, I mean, that would make sense, I should probably preface this podcast is not for little childrens. So, you childrens best be not listening to this podcast, because we're going to be talking about piss play. No. But, all joking aside, this is something I never got, the whole thirsty thing, just, I don't know. There's a lot of Gen Z slang I don't understand, thirst trap, thirsty, slap yo mama is one I've been hearing. I think that's a Gen Z one. I know slaps in general is a Gen Z thing. I have heard people who are clearly Gen Z say, dude, this song totally slaps. It's what? Slaps? I mean, I'll be the first to admit, I don't like all the slang my generation came out with. My generation came out with chillax. What the fuck is chillax? It's a portmanteau of chill and relax, I know, but it's it sounds bad. It sounds clunky and unusable. I hate that one. But, and my generation also came out with epic. So I understand what something is when it's epic, It's it could just be my millennial wiring, but it's epic. When you look at the definition, the dictionary definition of epic, and then when somebody tells you, oh, dude, this song is epic, you kind of know what they mean. But then you hear, Gen Z talk about how this song is so good, it makes them want to slap their mama. What? What is the correlation there? I do like the inverse of slap yo mama. I don't know if this is a Gen Z thing, or if this is something Aaron Hansen said on Game Grumps, and no one else ever said it. I should probably tread lightly when talking about Game Grumps, because last I checked, we are apparently supposed to hate Danny now, but all the same. Game Grumps, I gathered that the inverse of slap your mama is apparently punch your dad. Oh my god, this thing is so frustrating, it makes me want to punch my dad! I have to say, that one I like. If only because it's so random, you know, like, I've been angry before. I've been so angry that I want to punch things. I've been so angry that I want to get up and punch things completely unrelated to the thing making me angry. Not my dad, but, you know, something. I think my favorite saying was, I want to run out into the street and punch cars, I think was the one that I used to say a lot, but, you know, punch your dad, that one I like, it's funny. The whole thing with slap your mama just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Yeah. But that's just my hang-up there. I don't know. You're entitled to have your favorite slang. And it's just, you know, it's just not for me. So this thirst trap probably slaps over here in Bridgerton. As long as you don't start talking about chicken nuggies and how everybody is sus. Stop talking. I should probably stop telling you how to troll me effectively with things that piss me off, but man, I don't know. Just chicky nuggies. Oh my god, I fucking hate people who refer to the chicken nuggets as chicky nuggies. And they're not even talking to like their 3-year-old kid either, you know, the one who can barely talk as it is. You are a grown-ass adult hanging out with grown-ass adults. Say chicken nuggets. Say it! If you have to call them nugs, fine, you know, it's like, that one I thought was amusing. Not funny or hilarious, but amusing, you know, but chicky nuggies. Ugh, I hate that. I also hate sus. You know, that dude looks totally sus. Say suspicious! Say it! It's not that hard. God damn. Okay, you know what, this actually did turn into kind of a rant. I don't hate you, Gen Z, I just think your slang is awkward and unwieldy. That's all I'm saying. And here I thought I had to wait for Generation Alpha, or the Corona generation, or whatever we're calling this generation of babies born during the plague. I thought I had to wait for them to become adults before I started becoming the old man yelling at clouds. And when did that become a thing? Old man yelling at clouds. It's like... oh well, yeah. This whole thing spawned from Bridgerton, a show that I could honestly... it's mathematically impossible for me to care about, because it's not for me. I almost reviewed it for the channel, but after looking at some people on Twitter, I got the feeling if I was brutally honest about this show and gave it an honest rating, this would be the time when people discover who Tommy Teal Hat is, more than like the 23 people who follow me right now and only ever give me an average of about 2 or 3 views per video. This would be the time when my subscriber count hits the thousands and people decide they're gonna bitch me out because how dare you hate Bridgerton? It's art, man! Whatever. I don't know. I've noticed off and on throughout the last couple of weeks that Lil Nas X's quote-unquote Satan shoes have been trending lately. And, you know, the funny thing is, if I were like 15 years old again, you know, I would have probably bought those because I was all about the whole Norwegian black metal thing when I was younger. I was all about the black metal. I was really into the Covenant in particular, Dimmu Borgir to a lesser extent. I had a couple of MP3s from bands like Behemoth and Old Man's Child, but no actual CDs, because that's what you did in the early 2000s. You didn't actually buy music, you just downloaded the songs you liked and told the filler tracks to go fuck off. Yeah, fuck you, RIAA. Stop selling me 12-track records with one good song. But, yeah, that's long since been remedied with what we have today. But I digress. You know, like, I was into the Norwegian black metal shit, you know. I was all about wanting to be true cult and all that, and I don't think Satan Shoes would be true cult. I haven't followed the black metal scene for a long time. Particularly because a lot of the dudes who are into black metal also tend to be into, Nazism. And I don't even mean like marathoning the History Channel kind of Nazism. I mean more like they genuinely believe Hitler had the right idea kind of Nazism. And it's like, look, I'm all about hailing Satan. Don't get me wrong on that front. I'm all about hailing Satan and trolling the Christians, but this whole Sieg Heil thing is where I kind of have to draw the line. I don't know for sure if Satan Shoes are considered true cult or not. They're probably not, but I'd probably buy a pair anyway because I know for a fact that they troll the Christians, and 15-year-old edgelord me was all about trolling the Christians because, it was totally punk to be liberal and totally... it was cool to, skip church and, blaspheme out loud in public and use goddamn instead of just damn, Do you believe in gosh? I don't believe in gosh. But, it's like that sort of stuff I was into back when I was 15, and I would have totally bought a pair of Satan Shoes. It wouldn't bother me if they were basically just a pair of red Nikes. I'd still buy them. I know Nike's kind of in the shit between... Well, the lefties hate Nike because of all that sweatshop stuff, and the righties hate Nike because Colin Kaepernick sponsors them, and he doesn't sponsor them, they sponsor him, and Colin Kaepernick is all about Black Lives Matter, and everybody's all like, shut up and play football, asshole! Which I feel is one of those loaded topics I shouldn't touch here, but, it's like, everybody hates Nike, but I would still buy the Satan Shoes if it meant I could troll the Christians, because even here and now in adulthood, it warms my heart in this day and age of snowflakes and cancel culture, and we're censoring things like Pepe Le Pew because, it might offend somebody. It warms my heart in that day and age when I know we can still troll the Christians, and the Christians can still get mad at things, because I remember when I was a kid, and I remember when the Christians were basically in charge. This is an interesting thing here, kids, because cancel culture has always been a thing. It was a thing when I was a kid, except instead of canceling Pepe Le Pew because he perpetuates rape culture, or instead of canceling Speedy Gonzalez because he's a negative Hispanic stereotype, or we're canceling... what's another thing that we've canceled lately for stupid reasons? We canceled Elmer Fudd's right to own a gun because, it's only going to inspire more kids to take up guns and go to Walmart or something like that. No, it fucking isn't. But, it's like, instead of stuff like that, which is throughout cancel culture nowadays, the cancel culture that was going on when I was a kid was more hyper-focused on making the world as G-rated as humanly possible, with stuff like, we can't let our kids play Dungeons and Dragons because they're conjuring demons by playing this game, or we can't let kids trade Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards because, they promote Satanism, they promote some type of false idol worship instead of worshiping Jesus, and we can't let our kids read Harry Potter because, when Jesus performs magic tricks, it's a miracle, but when Joe Blow performs a magic trick, he's practicing the dark arts. Even if he's using magic for good, he's using magic to fight the evil Lord Voldemort. He's still using magic, therefore he's evil, This is what cancel culture looked like when I was a kid, The only thing that's really happened in the long run is the scale has shifted, so now the lefties have the power. And I'm really not looking forward to 2040, because that's when the righties will probably end up having all the influence again, because I hate to harp on Gen Z again, but when I look at stuff that's popular with Gen Z, the stuff that my generation rebelled against, like straight-shoed, Christian, go to church every Sunday, wear a suit and tie, that sort of stuff that my generation of counterculture was against. That seems to be the stuff that Gen Z likes, that I've noticed. And the book, It Came From Something Awful, can also vouch for that. like, the breadwinner is the new counterculture. We've come full circle in that regard. It's kind of weird to think about. So I'm not really looking forward to the day when the breadwinners become the norm again, because then we have to go right back to this whole, we can't let people do this because Satan! Yeah. But it's nice to know that something as trivial and stupid as red Nikes can piss off Christians because we market them as Satan shoes, you know. That's just me, anyway. The only other thing on my list is, it was apparently very important to mention that Drumline was trending last night. I guess we're coming up on, like, the 20th anniversary of Drumline and how it changed the world and how it's a cinematic masterpiece. Oh, no, it fucking wasn't. Oh my god, this movie was so terrible. If you haven't been following me for very long, you know I'm a bit of a contrarian when it comes to popular opinion. You know, I've made it very clear how I feel about Orange is the New Black and how I feel about, Drumline, you know. Oh yeah, Thor Ragnarok is another one I'm apparently a contrarian over. But, yeah, you know, it's like Drumline. It's not masterful. It's not cinematic art. It is it is an excuse to shoehorn in as much generic flavor of the month hip-hop into one movie as humanly possible. And I just remember... I remember this movie when it was high school track. And I remember one of the guys proposed that we watch that, like, the night before the big meet. Big meet. But, like, the night before the big meet, one of the guys on the track team, who shall remain nameless because he doesn't deserve to be named out loud, he mentioned that, he brought Drumline. We should watch this movie. It's the best movie he ever saw. And it's like, well, I'm skeptical, but we got nothing better to do. I mean, I could just spend my evening listening to Cradle of Filth albums, but whatever, you know. So I humored him. We all sat down. We all watched Drumline, and it took everything in my being to not laugh. That was how bad this movie was, because, oh my god, like, just the disconnect from reality. Like, every movie, to one degree or another, requires suspension of disbelief, you know? Like, I understand that. I mean, it's kind of one of the things about being a fan of science fiction. You just kind of have to roll with it. Like, maybe it doesn't make sense scientifically, but fine, whatever, you know, it works in this universe, so. Plus, this show was made in, like, 1995, so maybe the science of 1995 hasn't aged well here in 2021. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna roll with the punches. But there's suspension of disbelief, and then there's this, where, like, everybody's talking about how corny it all is, because, Flight of the Bumblebee is corny-ass shit. We need to spend all our time playing generic beats that any motherfucker... I'm trying not to get too worked up here, but, it's like, Flight of the Bumblebees is corny. Fuck you, man. Flight of the Bumblebees is not corny. That shit takes ridiculous precision in order to play. Whereas your fucking generic-ass rap beat... A computer program can manufacture a rap beat.
Well, a computer program could probably manufacture Flight of the Bumblebee, too.
Okay, yeah, but it probably wouldn't take as much processing power to come up with the beat for, like, move, bitch, get out the way, bitch, get out the way. I don't think that was one of the songs that was popular when Drumline was new and relevant, but you know what I mean, A lot of these rap songs that they were playing, it's like, they don't take a lot of... Maybe it's because I've had experience with playing drums, but they don't take a lot of precision. They don't take a lot of expertise, Some are more basic than others, but a lot of rap beats are pretty... Even when rap was good, a lot of the beats were pretty... Like, you didn't have to be a virtuoso to play them. You just needed to be a virtuoso to keep the beat for 3 minutes. And my favorite part of the movie, and when I say favorite, I mean that ironically, but, like, the part where I almost lost it. Like, the main character and his rival, They're finally looking like they're getting ready to throw down. They are super pissed off at each other. Oh my god. This is the part where they start throwing fists. They're going to start, what are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they strapping on snare drums? So they're so mad at each other, they're going to do a drum roll competition. They're going to see how long they can do a drum roll, because that's what... I'm not saying you should get into fist fights with people, but like, in reality, if you're mad at someone, are you going to take a swing at them, or are you going to play drums at them? Like, the time it takes to strap on a snare drum and then just go as long as you possibly can and hope that you outlast the other guy who's also going. It's like, this is not what human beings do. And one of my favorite shows used to settle disputes with a card game, to put things in perspective. But no, normal people don't settle disputes like this with drum roll competitions. They settle them with their fists. They settle them with a harsh exchange of words. Hell, they settle them with a card game. At least that takes skill. Oh, man. Oh, this thing is giving me a cough. I can't stand them. So yeah, it's like the 20th anniversary of Drumline. Do we really need to celebrate this? I would celebrate the 20th anniversary of Freddy Got Fingered before I would celebrate the 20th anniversary of Drumline. At least that movie was bad on purpose. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just gonna wrap it up here. I sound like a ranting, raving lunatic, but I'm kind of glad to get it all off my chest. I've been holding on to this for 2 weeks. You get used to podcasting like this, man. You kind of start saving up your venom and your topics of discussion. I feel good now. So I'm just going to leave you here with this. And I hope you enjoy it. And hopefully I don't end up frying Audacity like I did last time, somehow. Okay. Hope you all have a nice day, and I think I might make this a regular thing, recording on Mondays, because, it seems to work better right now for the foreseeable future. We'll see. In the meantime, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do the shuffle. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me wherever. Thanks for listening.